Thank you, Cathaoirleach. I welcome the bill that comes before the House today. The Criminal Justice Bill 2011 shows that this government will stand firm against misconduct by the financial industry. Like the Jobs Initiative launched only last week, this bill fulfils on another promised priority by government to be delivered in the first 100 days of office. I must also welcome the cross-party support that it has received, though in the case of Fianna Fáil, support for the government's bill, while welcome, is a little after the fact. Had Fianna Fáil enacted this bill in any of the last 14 years in which they were in power, perhaps some of the recklessness of the banks could have been avoided. And let's be clear, the recklessness of the previous government and the banks they were in bed with has seriously hurt this economy. The reverberations of their failed economic policies and the damage they have done are still being felt on a day-to-day basis by people around the country. The negative effect that the bank guarantee had on the state finances cannot be underestimated. The bank guarantee, which the Labour Party alone opposed, has cost the country dearly. There are now thousands of people unemployed, many hundreds of businesses struggling, and many more people at risk of losing their homes. How is that possible when we are supposed to live in a republic? Billions have had to be poured into a faulty banking system, and not enough of those responsible have been held to account. It is certainly something I hope to see remedied in the future. After all, why, I ask, should the ordinary Irish person take the financial remedies which are now necessary when faintly dim, rugby-playing bank executives got off scot-free? One of these executives in particular, Sean Fitzpatrick, a constituent of County Wicklow, although I doubt if he voted for me, owes a massive and sincere apology to the taxpayers of this country. From what I understand, while he himself may be bankrupt, the fact that he has transferred property to family members and attempted to put assets beyond the reach of the state is a major cause of concern. It is for these reasons that I welcome the provisions of this criminal justice bill, because the proposed legislation gives ammunition to tackle these complex financial irregularities. The white-collar crime around which this legislation is centred should, as I have said, been introduced many years ago. The victims of these crimes are not always readily identifiable, or the harm that was done them, as immediate as a physical injury would be, but victims they certainly are. It is clear today that the entire state has been subjected to this type of crime. The bill that is before this House allows for investigations on banking, financial and company irregularities to be conducted in a manner that allows for greater flexibility and power. The speed of investigations will also potentially be increased significantly by the ability that this legislation gives to tackling the swamping of investigators with documentation. Not only do I welcome a bill that does indeed end the perception of impunity for the white-collar criminal, but I also welcome recent plans by the Minister for Arts to move the bankers from their cosy home on Bank of Ireland College Green. It is a damning indictment for a society that a bank has physical ownership of an Irish Parliament that was built originally to serve the people. Indeed, when the House of a Parliament becomes the boardroom of a bank, you should know that your society is in trouble. It is galling that when many people are losing or on the verge of losing their home, that the Bank of Ireland should look to keep theirs. For an institution that thrived on selling people fantastic mortgages that encouraged others to leverage everything they had against uncertain assets, it amazes me that they would be allowed to keep their comfy home. Many of them actively lied to shareholders and to their customers. Therefore, I believe that this bill is important. I believe that those who are involved in financial impropriety ought to be punished and not let away because they feel they occupy some privileged position. On February the 25th last, the people spoke with a voice that toppled a tired and wasted government. And today, through this bill, one of their lasting legacies of financial corruption will properly be addressed. So I commend the bill to the House because, after all, Cathaoirleach, this is a people's republic, not a banker's. Gur maithagad.